Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kick Butt Turbo Nerds. I'm your best friend, Camden Nikolai.
And I am your other best friend, Neil Califf.
We're here to kick butts and be nerds, and we're all out of butts, so let's get started.
Party episode.
Yeah, it's a party episode. We're joined by two friends. Introduce yourselves.
We have two special
now!
guests. Yeah, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I was mentioned in episode 2, the Stardew Valley episode, because I got Neil onto that. And I am a guest friend today.
Yes.
And I'm Akiva. I was mentioned in, I don't know, some of the episodes.
He's mentioned pretty frequently.
I know for sure I was mentioned in
we talk
episode
about you
10,
pretty
because that was the
often.
one I listened to last.
Yeah.
And I'm another guest friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is our big fun New Year's extravaganza.
Yeah,
and
last week was our secular holiday episode.
Two
this episode, pardon me. And
Bless
this
you.
is our party episode. Last week was our lost episode. We are all about themes this month.
Yeah, this is like...
We're here for a chill time and a party time.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Let's just
I
jump
think-
right into it.
I think
don't
we
know.
have enough of us that we're gonna have to cook through these.
I'm like, I don't want to spend too much
and
time
I'm
on the cold
excited
open.
to
Well,
share my thing.
We all have stuff to talk about.
Well, I'm piggybacking a little bit off of Akiva today because
Hey.
I'm a little sicky boy and my brain was mush and I couldn't think of anything to talk about. So
Let's go.
I heard about your topic and I was like, great. I will
Gotta
just
say,
simply
it
talk
feels
about
good
that
being
too.
on top, baby.
Our mic check
All right.
should have been us coughing in.
Except for me, and I'm like, I'm actually healthy.
Okay, well, so yeah, my thing, I figured out my thing a couple weeks ago before I got sick, so I was ready. I stay strapped. I have plenty.
I
of
keep
ideas.
that thing on me.
My
keep
thing is
that
also
thing on
pretty
me.
short. I'll burn through mine, I think. But I want to talk about this movie that I just watched again recently. Had a little movie night. The movie is called Full Court Miracle. This movie
Bless.
is Disney Channel original movie
Oh God.
about a Jewish boys' day school basketball team.
What? Well, hold on. What year?
When
2003.
I want to say 04.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, I was like, dude, if this was in the year of our Lord, like
03.
2019 or some shit,
No.
I am. on the
No,
floor.
no.
This has to be old. Yeah.
This is 03. This is
like pre
old school.
We would watch this in
This
school.
is like,
This is
do
like
you
Lizzie
remember
McGuire
like
and
Max Keeble's Big Move? Does
Yeah,
anybody
no,
Yeah.
I don't
anybody
that
know
one.
from Max?
I know
Keeble's
it.
Big
I know
Move?
it. I got you.
Okay.
My bad.
Well, so the star of this movie actually is Max Keeble, except a couple years later. When was Max Keeble was 01, so it's 2 years later, but he looks a lot older.
Got the same
But
hairdo.
basically, it is a pretty accurate depiction of a Jewish day school boys basketball team and how much they suck and they're awful and they're all nerds and they're all Jewish and none of them know how to play basketball. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
a Hanukkah movie, which is why, yeah, it's it's real close to home. And okay, have any of the three of you seen this movie?
I've seen this
my
movie.
God.
I
we
have
had to
seen this
watch it
movie.
in school
The
every
kid?
year.
Okay.
The kid in it,
Yes.
I think is the one from Home Alone 3, and I did have to see that at some point.
Okay, I have not seen Home Alone 3.
That's okay,
The
you're not
kid
missing
also, he's also the voice of young Tarzan in Tarzan,
That's
which I found out recently, which
crazy.
is pretty crazy. But there's so many crazy things about this movie. The premise of the movie, because it's a Hanukkah movie, the premise of the movie is the basketball team sucks hard, and they need a savior to come and coach them so that they can win the tournament. And they're playing out on like a street court one day, and they come across this guy who they discover is a retired college basketball player named Lamont Carr, and the movie makes a big deal about how he's black and but it's like, no, but in a good way.
Make a
This was
big deal that he's
2003.
This
black.
was 2003. But
You
it
can't
was
just
like
say that, Neil.
they bring
This
him
the
into
episode Neil gets
into the
canceled?
school and everybody's like staring at him. But it's great. It's
You
so
know,
good. And
good
so
things.
he's like, good good thing. But everybody comes around him. The main boy's mom doesn't like him, not because he's black, but because,
Well, are
well,
we
maybe.
sure?
2003.
Yeah,
she just really wants her son to be a doctor and not. He just wants the. It's literally. I think every Disney Channel movie has to have the line, "That's your dream, not mine."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he wants to play
That's
professional
legal.
basketball. Yeah, I think it's in the contract when you sign on to write a DCOM.
Did
Yeah.
we consider that she still hates this guy because he's plays basketball and that's his culture and therefore that is innately racist?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be.
All right, just wanted to throw that one.
There
out
are
there.
some racial themes in the movie. It's
Uh-oh.
great. No, in a good way.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Not racist. Just like
Oh, okay,
general
got it,
racial
got it, okay.
tension
sure.
stuff.
That could go either
And
way.
so they find this guy and they get him to agree to coach the boys' basketball team, and he takes them from being awful to being an incredible team. And it's like a Hanukkah story of this tiny little, it's like a David and Goliath kind of story. And in the end, spoilers, everybody should watch this movie because it's a romp. But they win the basketball tournament, yay, and then there's a whole thing that happens at the end where the power goes out and the generator only has enough fuel to last for like 1
Oh
minute, but
my God.
miraculously the generator lasts
forgot
long enough
that.
for them to finish the
Like
basketball
one last
game.
little dunk and then the lights go out.
It's basically, it like
Dude,
ends on
okay,
like
wait,
a
that's
buzzer
kinda hype.
beater.
Never
It's
mind,
so
I'm in.
good.
I'm in.
Oh, I totally
Um,
forgot about that. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
funny.
like
hysterical.
it's literally it's like the story of Hanukkah.
It's just Hanukkah.
Oh,
yes.
shit! I didn't put that. Oh my
Yes,
god!
okay.
Oh,
For
everything makes
context,
sense
Bobby
now.
isn't Jewish.
Sorry.
I just want to say we're keeping the podcast ratio of 50% Jewish still alive and well.
Yeah,
in
true.
this
Except
recording.
the two non-Jews are both extremely honorarily Jewish.
Yeah, they're honorary.
Yeah, so to say,
Dude, I
Bobby's
got
been
it.
lighting the menorah with us.
Yeah.
And killing
yeah,
the
I
players.
did. And
I did
I
not
celebrated
fuck up the
Hanukkah
Corona.
until I was
Yeah, that's
12.
my one. That's my one. That's my one.
You know who you are, who he's talking to.
Okay, wait. I need to drop the bombshell about this movie though. This is
Here.
like there's two other points that I want to make. Because there's not a ton to talk about this movie, but there's a couple things. First of all, the guy who directed this movie is the same guy who wrote and directed the live-action Ninja Turtles movie in the
that's
90s.
atrocious.
What?
The disgusting,
Classic.
like absolutely horrifying
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles movie.
The one they never use their weapons. Cause
Yeah, because
Yeah,
because
they're in these
of
giant
fucking
suits.
fan?
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's the guy who made that movie. Meanwhile, the three people wrote this movie. It's a guy named Donald and two guys named Joel Silverman and Joel Kaufman. Do you want to guess, any of you, which one of those three writers was a Mennonite minister?
A Mennonite minister?
That's right, it was Joel Kaufman.
What?
So I looked this
Joel
guy up.
Kaufman?
This guy was he wrote a movie. He made a movie called The Radicals about the founding of the Anabaptist movement.
What the fuck?
And he also wrote Full Court Miracle, and he also wrote Miracle on Lane 2, a Disney Channel movie starring Frankie Muniz in a wheelchair.
What? Frankie Muniz in a
What's
wheelchair?
going on?
Dude. Love
Based
this
on a true
guy's
story, a 13-year-old
work.
boy who uses a wheelchair is determined to win a trophy like his athletic older brother. So he wrote that movie. He wrote a movie about little Jewish boys, and he wrote a movie about the founding of the Mennonites. And he also, I think he lived in Israel, and he was a minister, and had like a comic strip. I don't know. It was very, very interesting to learn about this guy. The other interesting thing I learned about this movie is that it's based on a true story.
What?
It is based on the story of a day school basketball team that hired a retired college basketball player, actually named Lamont Carr.
No way.
He's
Akiva,
real?
do you mind if I dox you just a little bit?
Did he go to my school?
Lamont Carr coached Donna Klein Jewish Academy's
What?
boys basketball team.
That was my middle school.
Full Court Miracle
complete docs, whatever.
is
But that's
based,
so funny.
Sorry to dox you.
Can we
Full
actually-
Court Miracle is
This
based
is the episode
on the
where we
school
dox Akiva.
that. This is the part
It
where
was
we
about
dox Akiva because he went to the school
Happy New
Wait.
Year.
this movie is based on.
What year did this happen? Why is no?
So,
we
okay.
watch this like every year in
I
my
know.
school.
I used to watch this every year in school. Akiva watched this every year in school.
Because it was related.
I
Who told us
found
that?
I found I was trying to figure out. I read that it was based on a true story, and I was trying to figure out where the hell this guy coached. And finally, I found an issue of the Donna Klein newspaper from years ago. Fun fact, the 2003 Disney Channel movie Full Court Miracle is based on the story of Lamont Carr, a former DKJA basketball coach.
That's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Wait.
This is why I needed Akiva on the podcast this time of year so that I could drop this on him.
Wait, no fucking way. Why did they never tell us this when we were
I don't know. The guy who wrote the movie, one of the guys who wrote this movie, I guess he had been like working with Disney. Maybe he wrote some other movies, and he like went. I think he went to college with Lamont Carr, and he knew about his story coaching this basketball team. And he's like, "This guy, I gotta write a movie about this guy," and he did.
That's great. Our coach in middle school was just I won't dox my school anymore.
Okay.
I'll say it was not a
We've already
professional
dropped the name.
basketball player. Yeah. No more doxing my school.
All right.
Dude, that's crazy.
So yeah, absolutely insane. I love this movie. It's so much fun. It's so Jewish, and it gets a lot of the really goofy idiosyncrasies of going to a Jewish day school. It gets them right, despite being 1/3 written by a Mennonite minister.
It's crazy.
It's really good.
The other two writers, I'm going to assume the other two writers are Jewish at least, right?
I don't know. I could not find out anything about the other writers. Very strange. The only one I could figure out
needed
was
call my sister after this and tell her, because we literally would watch that year in, year out. The one, like, Hanukkah time rolled around, like,
Yeah.
there was no classes, obviously. It was holiday, like, it was about before break, and so we'd always put this on, and it was a background noise for us. But to know that actually took place in my school, I am utterly floored by, because why wouldn't they that should be like, we should have posters hanging up, we should have signed autographs, like, that's
I
a
don't know
cultural
when
touchstone.
It must have been like in the 90s.
There must have been some sort of transfer of like who was in charge, and someone didn't get wind of it. You know what I mean?
Had to have,
like it had to just been like
docked the
this
principal.
person was in charge, and then they ended right here, and the new person picks up and doesn't know about it, and yada yada. Like it got approved here, and then this happened, and that's still crazy.
It's crazy. Anyway, that's my thing.
Fantastic. I'm
it's a
all
lot of
for
fun.
it.
And now I have to watch a poor little
Tonight?
day school Jewish basketball movie from Disney. This is awesome.
If I had to guess, it's
Well,
probably like an
maybe we'll
hour
do a
long.
movie night.
Yeah, great.
It's so good.
It's enough for like 2 class
It's a 62-minute
periods.
runtime.
Yeah.
It's really short.
Just like the
Uh,
Jewish basketball players. Ayo.
Okay. Bobby, do you want to go next?
I can.
Yeah.
Is this acceptable to all?
Yes.
If Akiva and Camden are sort of
I don't know what
doing a
Camden's
joint
in.
thing.
I'm really curious, so
Yeah.
we'll save it for last.
Okay. Yeah, you guys piggyback off of each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
so
we're
it needs
bouncing
to,
off
needs
each
to
other.
work that way. All right. So what I want to talk about today is one of my favorite video games from when I was younger, which is called Kid Icarus Uprising.
Say it slower and enunciate.
Kid Icarus
There you go.
Uprising.
Nice.
And it came out for the Nintendo 3DS back in 2012. And I actually bought it when it came out. It was one of the first games that I purchased with my own big boy money. And what was so appealing about it was it follows this angel pit, is his name, quite literally, just like the thing that you fall in, right? And the goddess of light, Palutena, as they try to fight off Medusa and her other underworld minions and stuff, right? And the game seems to follow that plot pretty solidly through it, right? And it does all this stuff with Greek mythology. There's all the
I would assume.
you fight a Cerberus, you fight some
Nice.
other stuff. The one there's Pandora at one point that you fight, and she
Ooh.
has this mirror, and when Pit goes to break it, it's creating underworld enemies. And when Pit he crashes through, now pops Dark Pit.
Whoa,
Ooh,
Mega
whoa.
Pit.
Oh, that's where
Yeah.
Dark Pit comes from?
Yeah, and all
Oh,
this kind
I
of
played
stuff. So then he
Smash.
has this chaotic-y neutral character that is not actually evil but not good either, and he's just kind of torn and confused about his existence and everything, but he kind of fights against them and stuff.
He's Shadow.
And this is all great, and then they go and they beat Medusa at chapter 9 of the game, right? So it's split into chapters. I'll talk more about the actual structure of the game in a second. But you get to chapter 9, you're like, okay, yeah, that was cool. That was a fun game. It took you probably I don't know, each level takes probably like 10 minutes. So you're like probably like 2 hours or so, maybe give or take. And you're like, okay, is that it? No. After you beat Medusa, the credits are scrolling and everything, and out pops a little hand.
Whoa!
Like,
Through the credits?
Through the credits,
Whoa.
and of course it's on the 3DS. So 3D
Oh.
slider.
Jump scare.
Oh, I mean, oh my gosh, I'm quaking in my boots, pissing my pants,
Pissing in my boots?
and pissing my boots, quaking in my pants.
I just got those boots.
And like this infernal, it's called the Hades Infernal theme, and it's this like it's incredible. The soundtrack in this game is nuts, and we'll talk more about that in a second. But Hades has been behind everything, and then you go like literally, that was chapter 9, and so you go to fight Hades for the next like 16 chapters because it's a 25 chapter game.
What?
There's so much
The
shit that
credits
happens.
roll, and then there's
Dude,
16
there's
more
16
chapters.
more chapters, and so much shit happens. You fight
What?
Brady, who's the goddess of nature, who is played by Hynden Welch or whatever her name is, who plays.
But I know that name.
Yeah, Starfire Princess Bubblegum. I
Yeah.
shit you
What?
not. I
Yeah.
shit you
Oh,
not.
let's
She's
go.
incredible. Okay.
Let's go.
And it's like incredible game, and then and you fight her, and she's trying to like reset bomb all these planets and stuff because she hates humans for the way that they hurt the earth and everything.
Whoa.
And
That
so
makes
she's trying to
sense.
return it back to nature. So she's like,
So she's the bad
she's
guy.
like a third party. She's not affiliated with Hades, and then eventually they have an enemy of our enemy as my friend, so they team up against him and everything, and like all that. And she actually ends up being like a really good ally later, and all this kinds of stuff. And it is such an incredibly written game, and this is what I want to talk about. All right, this game is fascinating because it's an on rails like third-person shooter, which is like if you guys have ever played like Star Fox before or something like that, where you can move your character in a circle,
Yeah.
but you don't have any depth, like no back and forth.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
And so you just kind of dodge the incoming stuff and you
Yeah.
shoot from there. That is the first part of every like level, and the reason for that is Pit is an angel, but he cannot fly on his own. He can only fly using the power of Palutena. But if he flies for too long, his wings burn up. Okay?
Like Icarus.
So literally,
Oh,
yeah,
I
there's
love
the Icarus
this.
thing, right?
Seeing
And so
where
what's
the name
great
came
is the
from.
first, like the flying portion of every level is scripted in how long it can take, right?
Mhm.
And because of that, the music is perfectly aligned with every single story beat
Love
that
this.
happens, and it
Oh,
is
let's go.
unlike any other game I have ever played because it's a full orchestra. They do all sorts of different sounds and like there's different leitmotifs for every single character and every single boss and every single thing. Like they did so much forethought
Whoa.
for this. It is sincerely one of the most incredible games, and the whole time there's ongoing commentary because Pit, the way that it works is he can hear everybody in his little head because they're gods and they can communicate him however.
Uh-huh.
So it's just like Pit having conversations with Palutena while you mess around, like when you're on like other levels
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Where it's so once you land, then you have like a ground level, and so you run around and you can dash and shoot and all that kinds of stuff. The only thing that sucks about this game is its control scheme, and that's because you have to use the stylus to like
Horrendous.
while you are shooting with like so it's rough, and this was the thing. But let me get to the craziest
Was
part
it
of all of this.
exclusive to the 3DS?
Exclusive to the 3DS.
How much does a 3DS
Let me-
cost? Because I want to get this.
It
These
depends.
days?
In the day of our Lord Jesus Christ, or whoever it is that you worship, I believe it is currently like 150 or so for like an older one. Depends on what you're grabbing. But the interesting part is the director and exclusive writer of this game was Masahiro Sakurai. Now you might know that name
Yes,
because
we
that
do.
is the guy that made Smash Bros.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Kirby. Exclusively him directed and wrote these stories single-handedly. There is no other writing credit, and that was by his own design. He was like, there is no way that I can communicate what it is that I want to do with this on-rails stuff and everything
Yeah.
to someone else, so I'm just going to write the whole damn thing myself. And
That's
and
incredible.
I gotta say, it is peak. It is so good. They fight like Arum, which are like other like Space Invaders part. It is like every trope and awesome thing that you can imagine happens at some point in this game. Like there's a time skip that's insane. Palutena at some point becomes like incapacitated, and Pit has to save her. Sacrifices his own life to do so. He gets
What?
brought back by Dark Pit, who has to like, dude. It is literally the most insane game I have ever played, and it is so peak. And I pray every single day that they decide to remake it like on
So there was
Switch
never
or
a
something
sequel
like
or
that.
anything.
No. And the craziest
But-
part is this is a continuation of a game where the last iteration in the series was 25 years before 2012.
Was Kid Icarus the name of the
Kid
series?
Icarus was an NES game, and then there was one on the Game Boy that was called like Of Myth and Monsters, right? And then there was nothing for 25 years, and then they brought it back in this big of a way with full voice acting, all of this like crazy, insane storyline and everything. And it's like the most incredible thing I've ever played. And I'm just hoping and praying that one day it gets, because it is still currently locked on the 3DS. That is the only
not
place
like
that
a port.
They have not
play on
remade
some
it,
other
remastered it, or
console.
anything. And so that is what I'm hoping that one day Nintendo decides to do, is move it onto the Switch so that more people can play it. Because right now it's a really tough sell to tell people, hey, the story's incredible,
3DS.
but also like you have to have a 3DS, and the control scheme kind of low key hurts your hands after a little bit, TBH. But also, like, for me, it was very worth it. But I can completely understand why some people are like, yeah, this sucks, I don't want to do this. But that is my thing, and like the cast is crazy. Everybody in it's fantastic. The lady that plays Palutena is the same one that plays 13, or like Lightning in Final Fantasy 13. And there's a whole bunch of other people that are really, really great in it. And it's Hidden Watch still gets me. Like the fact that it's just like you hear her voice and you're like, oh my god, is that? And it absolutely is.
Voice, yeah.
And she does such an incredible job with it, and everyone else. And little Anthony Del Rio, all right, he plays Pit and Dark Pit. So he has a separate voice for each. He was 18 when they recorded this shit. He kills it. Like, managed to do two completely separate characters that, like, still are the same in a lot of ways, but feel, like, definitively different. And that is not an easy thing to pull out.
Very impressive.
Like, yeah. So it is one of my favorite games. It has a soundtrack that'll blow your freaking socks off. And that is what I wanted to talk about and nerd out a little bit.
Wow.
You've sold me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Greek mythology fan.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
I mean, it just and here's the thing: it's not perfect. Like they do their own spin on stuff. Not everything they do is like one-to-one. Like Pyros is the guy that is like the sun god in this, which is not true,
It's not
right?
true.
And like all of that kinds of stuff. But they just, it's good. Which, by the way, Pyros, that's a Troy Baker. I forgot about him.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
Okay, that's a
you might,
pretty big name.
Just a small guy that you probably never heard of before.
This cast is crazy.
It's insane. It's so good. So.
How are more people not talking about this? Because it sounds like a banger cast, killer story, soundtrack, full package. Other than the fact that it was only on the 3DS.
Came out on the 3DS in
Okay, there we go.
2012, and
Yeah, I was about to say probably the
has a weird
console and
control
the
scheme.
controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those two
that'll
things right
that'll
there.
kill
3DS
any
was
game,
not
no
good.
matter how sick it is. Unfortunately.
Yeah. That'll hurt a game, baby. That's exactly right. So, but yeah, that is sincerely one of my favorite games, and I am stopping myself from talking about it more so that we have enough time for the rest of the podcast.
How long have we been going for?
Woo!
Got a tight 10 on Kid. I would sit here and listen to you talk about it.
Listen, I will tell you more after the podcast.
Yeah, it was
Alright,
like
done.
you just kept talking, and I just
You
kept
have your
thinking
3DS with you?
that Akiva is the perfect person for this game.
Yeah, it sounds like the game was made for it.
Literally.
yeah. That's why I wanted to talk about it with him here specifically.
It's crazy.
It's so good.
That's
It's
great.
so fun.
Literally, when I come on for a full episode, my entire thing is about a Greek mythology musical. And
Dude,
so,
Let's go. Oh my
A
gosh.
little preview.
a little preview for what I will
foreshadowing.
be ranting about.
Oh
That-
my gosh.
yeah, that is a fantastic game. I really, I want to get a 3DS
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Akiva, we'll split one.
Well, let's the one, yeah.
We
While
don't
we
live in
live
the
in
same
across
state,
the
so
country.
We'll ship it back and forth.
Listen, fellas. Do you know it's really
chapter by
easy
chapter.
to hack your 3DS?
Is it?
Yeah, it's
That's a-
remarkably easy. I
that's a-
have
that's a-
one.
Yeah, Camden, you understood that joke, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. That's been rolling around. There was like a whole like bit for a while where people were just like, "Hey, do you know it's really easy to hack your 3DS?" Like,
Hey,
they
did
were
you
just
know?
because it is sinfully easy to like jailbreak the thing and get custom firmware.
It's
and stuff.
honestly
really?
harder
It's
to just
incredible.
have it be not.
It is.
like,
It is
it just-
truly.
It's harder to not
It is
hack
harder
your
to
3DS
not.
than
I
to hack
sincerely
it.
think so. He's right. There's nothing else to say.
That's crazy. I had the 3DS back, way back when it was like originally coming
Mhm.
out,
Yeah.
and there was
I'm
just,
the only one who didn't have a 3DS.
Crazy, but
you didn't miss out. There was first of all,
I
there was
didn't
like
have it when I was
barely
a
any
kid.
games for it,
wrong. There were lots
you
of
got it.
games I really enjoyed.
except for Kid Icarus.
Kid
I got it
Icarus
for
was
like
incredible.
my.
You didn't play Fire Emblem Awakening. I could also talk for 8 years on that game.
No,
We
for
don't
Fire
gotta
Emblem.
go there.
Next time we have
All
you
right,
on.
next time.
Anyways, I sold it for PS4.
Yeah. I love Chrome. I would marry that man. He's perfect. But we don't have to talk about that. Sorry. All right, Akiva, I think it's your turn.
It is my turn.
Okay.
Okay. So apparently Camden is going to be piggybacking off of what I have, but what I am bringing.
I'll let
to
you have your moment.
All right, perfect. I'm so curious because you can piggyback off of this in so many different ways. And so what I'm bringing to our little delicious holiday feast here is the Muppets 2011 major motion picture, just titled The Muppets. It was a
Oh, it wasn't called the Muppet movie.
No,
The Muppet.
it's
No, it was just called The Muppets.
The Muppets, and so anytime you try searching for it, there's a good chance you don't actually get the movie. You just get the regular Muppets cast,
The
just popping
noun,
up.
The Muppets.
Yeah.
You also had to type in the Muppets parentheses 2011.
2011.
You do.
Jason
Yeah.
Segel major
Yeah.
motion picture.
Seagull major motion picture.
Exactly. It's, first of all, I'll say it. It's a masterpiece. I want you guys to just
So
guess.
good.
We'll play a little game. But first of two games I have prepared for everyone. First game, I want everyone to try and guess what the Rotten Tomatoes are for the tomato meter and what it's now known as the popcorn meter, but the audience meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is good.
I'm gonna go.
We should do this
I'm gonna
more
go
often.
87 on the critic review,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go a 93 on the audience review.
Okay. Neil?
I'm going a little lower. I think critics is in the 70s. I'm gonna say like 76 critics, and audience maybe like 88.
Okay. Camden?
I do think it's in the 90s. It says a perfect movie. I think this is a 95.
Correct.
I'll say that's a 95, just like tomato rating, critic rating. I'm gonna guess an 88.
I feel like Camden was actually the closest.
Okay.
Because it is a 95% on tomato meter and
Wow.
80% audience meter.
Holy
which means
crap.
90. Wait, critics.
the
did what?
critics rated
it
it
was better.
higher than
Critics
the
rated it what?
95%.
90.
They were
This
right. I
movie
had those
is
backwards.
Yeah.
perfect. This movie is perfect.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
I remember this movie so vaguely. All I really remember, it's Amy Adams and Jason
Amy.
Segel?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jason
they're
Segel.
two humans.
I remember the one song, Man or Muppet. That's really
We'll get to
all
that.
I
Don't worry. We'll
remember.
get to
there. Sorry.
We'll get to the classic
Just such a
banger.
Muppet of
Classic Muppet over man over there. It is, as we've all been saying, a perfect movie. From the casting to the dialogue, constantly. My favorite bits that they have, my favorite like tropes that you can have in a good comedy movie, is acknowledging that you're in a movie, and the amount of times where someone just looks at the camera and just goes like, "Well, that's gonna ruin this movie." It's just through the roof. Like one of it's fantastic. Like Amy Adams and Jason Segel, and I'll get into the plot in a moment. Just as a refresher, they're just like they're sitting around, and Kermit just tries to like solve the plot immediately, and Adams just goes, "Well, that's gonna shrink the runtime." Just like was like deadpan
Yeah.
at the camera. Anyways, so the whole premise of the movie is that the Muppets studio is going to be sold, and Jason Segel, what's his name in the movie? I forgot.
Gary.
He's Jason.
Hey,
Segel.
Jason Segel.
No, his name is Gary.
Gary.
Fiends.
It's Gary and Mary. Amy Adams plays Mary. It's Gary and Mary, the two humans. And so there is. They are trying. Sorry, let me go back. The premise of the movie is that Gary and his younger brother Walter, who is a physical Muppet, and everyone just accepts that is his brother. His brother is a Muppet. He is a sock human of a person. Are working with the
I
Muppets.
feel like that's a slur. I feel like you need to walk that
I
way.
don't think you're allowed
Sorry,
to
I'd
say
like-
that.
I don't think you're allowed to say
Neil and I are
that.
getting canceled.
I think only they can say that.
I apologize to all the Muppets out there. I did not mean to come off so crass. They're trying to save the Muppet studio from an evil oil baron, Mr. Texas Richmond, who is wanting to tear down the Muppet Studios, take the name, and just dig it for oil, because apparently there's a large oil reserve under it. And so the movie starts off, and they have to go find Kermit. He sings a wonderful ballad about missing the gang. It's beautiful. He's like having flashbacks of all the great times they had. And then it goes into them doing a little montage of going to get back all the Muppets, and then it's everyone coming together to get the Muppet Show going, and making sure that they're able to like actually put on a show within 48 hours. Beautiful movie. They have to try and get a guest star to host this call-a-thon to help raise money. And
Please say who it is. Please tell them who it is.
it is Jack Black
I
Oh,
don't
I
remember
forgot about that.
It's-
Oh my god.
The best part is that Jack Black doesn't even want to
Friend
join.
of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show,
Yeah.
Jack Black. And they ended up having to like kidnap him and tie him up. And the entire time during this call-a-thon, he's like, "Call for help," and the audience is just loving this quote unquote character he's playing, but he's like actually just he's being held hostage and against his will for the whole Muppets movie. It's fantastic. The movie from beginning to end has a wonderful soundtrack that I unabashedly listen to probably once a week. No,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, unabashedly.
We
once a week.
have
It's
Man or a
Unabashedly once
Muppet
a
on
week.
a
Abashedly.
yeah.
daily. We listen to Man or a
Abashedly,
Muppet at least once a week, like with the music video included
Of course.
in this house, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
It's just
Perfect.
I remember like watching Disney as a kid, and they would just always show that song, and every single time it would come on, me and my sister would just belt it out, just full force. It would drive my family crazy.
Can you remind me the context of that song in the movie?
Yeah, sure. So it throughout the entire movie, Gary, who is Jason Segel, and his younger brother Walter, who is the Muppet, are having a bit of an identity crisis of if they are more man or if they are more Muppet, because Gary and Mary go to I think it's Las Vegas to go for their 10-year anniversary, but the entire time he's helping the Muppets out, and so Mary's like, "You need to choose. Are you a man or a Muppet?" Because he's spending this entire time with the Muppets and not with her.
Yeah, and
And
she wants him to propose,
Yes,
Mm.
and so
and
the beautiful ballad. He thinks he's human, and the entire time Kermit's like, "No, you're gonna be a part of the show." And he's like, I can't. I'm not a Muppet." And so it's more of an identity.
He's a Muppet of a
He's a very
and Jim
manly Muppet, you
Parsons
could say.
does play Human Walter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in the music video, there's like Jim Parsons.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's
the part where
for
they're both
Akiva.
looking in the mirror.
That's Sheldon.
Yo, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sheldon.
Big Bang
I mean, he
Theory,
sings it.
he's
He's like,
there.
it's
And
fantastic.
they made a Jason Segel puppet. They made a Muppet of him.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
they brought Jim Parsons in exclusively to be Human Walter.
It's
it's
so,
just a
and
very-
then Jason Segel stole that puppet version of him and took it home with him after the
He
filming
has
was
it-
done.
That's
He
so
has
good.
it
Yes.
in an enclave, like under the stairs hidden room. He did an interview
So
talking
good.
about how it's one of his most prized possessions and it has its own room.
That's so
and-
creepy. Imagine
That's
going under
so
the
good.
stairs and you just see.
And you walk into the Muppet
It's
room.
the Muppet room.
Yeah, exactly.
here's
I
the
do
thing.
want to take a
That
second
man
really quickly.
loves the Muppets. And
I mean, yeah, he
Rightfully
wrote
so.
this movie. He
Yeah.
was a co-writer on the movie.
One last thing, I just want to say, Man or a Muppet won an Oscar.
Oh,
I did
Yes.
not know that. That
Yes.
that rocks.
Yeah, it's a banger song.
Deserve
Deserves it.
I do want to take a second just to point out the supporting cast of this movie. We've
Oh,
already
yes,
mentioned
talk
Jack
about the
Black
cameos.
and Jim
Yes.
Parsons. Rashida Jones is here. Zach Galifianakis is here. Ken Jeong is here. Kristen Shaw is
I
here.
love Ken Jeong.
Donald
Yeah,
Glover
I
is
remember
there.
Ken Jeong being in there.
Sarah
What?
Silverman is there. What?
Sarah Silverman.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes,
And I
and
remember
the thing
Ken
is,
Jeong.
like
I
these
don't remember
huge
Sarah
names,
Silverman.
Donald
these
Glover.
huge names have like tiny things. Zach Galifianakis is Hobo Joe. He's the first audience member of the telethon.
It's a throwaway character just
Yeah.
in the audience.
Ken Jeong is
so
the punch
good.
teacher host.
Yes,
That's
he is.
so good.
Christian
Really,
Shaw
Donald
is just
Glover
the
is an assistant.
anger management group moderator. Like all of these people just have tiny little parts in this movie, probably because they fucking love the Muppets. And it's just
Yeah.
like, of course, like why wouldn't you want to be in a fucking Muppet movie, especially in 2011?
They were at their peak in 2011.
Yeah.
I just just have a list of awards that this movie was nominated for, and I'm gonna list off 3 of them. I want you guys to guess which one of them they actually won. So we have an Academy Award, we have a Golden Reel Awards, and a House and Film Critics Society Award. Which
Yeah, well,
one
you
did they
told
win?
us one of them already.
Oh no. Well,
Which one did I tell? Oh, I did tell you that.
Academy Award, you told us.
Well, it was a trick question because they won all 3 of those.
Oh.
As
Yo,
well as
that's so
Critics'
good.
Choice Movie, Dorian Awards, and then they were nominated for just so many other things.
yeah.
It's a perfect film.
We love Jason Segel. in
We
this
love
house.
Jason Segel. We love the Muppets. We love the
Yes,
Muppets.
we do.
We do love them.
We love the Muppets. I think it's messed up what they're doing to their cousins at Sesame Street right now.
Well,
Okay,
I think it's
but-
messed up what they're doing to themselves at Disney right now.
At Disney.
At Disney,
that's what I was
true.
about to
Yeah,
say.
the No
So,
More
like,
Muppet Vision.
Right, they're getting rid
Yeah,
of
Muppet Vision is the
which-
last project that Jim Henson worked on before he passed away.
Yeah, it's incredibly depressing that they're getting rid of Muppet Vision and that whole Muppets. It hurts real bad.
For me, as a big Monsters Inc. fan, I don't want it to be built on the ashes of
Of
something
Muppets.
beautiful,
Yeah.
No,
such as the Muppets.
why can't we
Like,
have
that's not,
both?
I didn't ask for this.
You
Right.
have so
The-
much land in Florida. Why do you need to tear down the Muppets? Make the
There's
park
nothing
bigger.
else in Florida.
The consolation is that they're making Rock and Roller Coaster into Muppets.
I
which
know, but Jim
incredible,
Henson didn't work on this.
but No, he did not. Unless Jim
And-
Henson was part of Aerosmith and I wasn't aware. But I
Yeah,
don't think Jim
which would
Henson
be
was
for
in
Hold
Hold
on,
Aerosmith.
on. Let me do a quick little
Maybe
check.
we should check on that real quick.
Can we get a fact check on that one?
But yes, I love this movie. It's perfect. It's perfect. We just watched Muppet Christmas Carol.
Dude, literally one of the
so
I think it
good.
is single-handedly the best actual adaptation onto film of the Christmas Carol,
Yes.
bar none.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe that
Yes.
wholeheartedly. I will die on that hill.
I will die beside you because
Thank you.
That-
I love
it
that.
is so good. We were watching it with friends who had never seen it before, and they were talking about like the really uncanniness of the Ghost of Christmas
The
Past,
ghost. Yes.
and the cheerfulness of the Ghost of Christmas Present, and then the complete desolation of the Ghost of Christmas Future. And they were like, "It's crazy that this is making me feel like all of these emotions, and it's the Muppets." And I'm like, what else does the Muppets do? That's what they're here for.
Michael Caine talked multiple times
And
about
Michael
how he
Caine.
was like, I refuse to play this any other way than treating every single Muppet as if they are legitimate. Like I will play this as straight as humanly possible. And
Yes.
it literally makes that
Boy,
fucking
does
movie.
he. Yeah.
It is
And
perfect.
also, all of the interviews that he did afterwards where the Muppets are beside him and they're just like dancing beside him. And he's like, I love
Yep.
these little actors. They're the best. And I'm like, yes!
It's so good.
It's so good.
Ah,
I
That movie. No cheeses for
love-
us, Mises.
just really anything Muppets is just fantastic to me. Jim Henson was genuinely like I mean, I don't even know like what to say. Obviously, he was a visionary that created and fostered a lot of creativity in people when I think they needed it most. And yeah, I am happy to see that they're keeping the Muppets alive in a way at Disney. But
In a
I don't know.
way.
it is upsetting what's happening to, yes, what Bobby said about their cousins at Sesame Street right now, and also that Muppet Vision will be no more.
So Sesame Street still hasn't been picked up by anybody else.
Not-
Isn't
not
Sesame
as of
Street-
No.
right
Because I
now.
saw a lot of people saying they like Netflix might pick it up,
That
which I
would
could
kill
see
me.
happening.
I would want to bash my head against the wall.
Yeah,
But
I like
mean, it would be
that's
better
like the
than
worst person that could pick it up.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
Genuinely.
Somebody's gotta.
I-
I can't. It doesn't. I literally cannot imagine a world without Sesame Street.
No.
I would love for there to be a world where like PBS has enough money to acquire something like that.
yes, because that's
Yeah.
like who I would trust with it, but that's just
Correct.
not.
But I know it's not going to happen. But like,
No.
there's no one else that would be able to do it. You know?
All right. I before we go over this might be a good little transition. I assume Camden's topic has something to do with the Muppets. And I was curious if everyone had to identify with any Muppet, who would it be?
Gonzo,
Like,
what
I
the
am
fuck?
Gonzo. I was
Okay,
like,
yeah. the thing is, Akiva and I have said for years that the two of us are Waldorf and
Yeah.
Stadler because we literally,
Yes.
for years that we lived together and like went to social events together, we would literally just sit in the back, the two of us, and just make fun of everything that was
That is
happening.
very true.
That's literally just you two, but also if
Yeah.
Akiva is one separately, he would be Fozzie.
Probably.
I could
No,
also
no,
feel
there's
this
no
myself.
probablys in that. That's just
Yeah.
what he is.
Wocka Wocka. That's the most. No, I can see myself being a bit of a scooter though. I could be a tiny scooter.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a plain old.
Yeah.
That's so plain.
Just a little guy.
like Bobby, I'm going Dr. Teeth all the way for you.
Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
You talking about the one with the tooth?
The guy with the tooth.
Yeah, you know,
Okay, can I-
the
I'm-
teeth.
No, you know
Can I-
who's
Can I be full disclosure?
yeah.
When I was young, that guy in particular did scare me. That was the one
Really?
Muppet. That was the one Muppet that I was like,
Okay,
don't
I
like
take
him.
it back. Swedish
Okay,
Chef.
no.
Swedish Chef. Now, see, now we're talking.
Sweetums.
Now we're talking. What?
Sweetums.
Sweetums could be. I was thinking a
Sweetums.
little.
Oh,
I,
that's good.
I could
Sweetums.
be. I
The
could have
hair.
the snark of Rizzo.
Okay, all right.
Rizzo's
Yeah.
also good.
Rizzo's a good pick.
Rizzo's
I
pretty
also
good.
could just have that Kermit dog in me. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think if you call yourself Kermit,
Yeah.
you might
That's
be
what
right.
I.
You're-
And I think
you're
that that's
disqualified.
fair. But like, also, if we're being objective.
Can I give Neil Ralph? Just because in the Muppets,
I'd
the
allow
Muppets
that.
movie 2011 film, when they're going to collect all the Muppets, they are like crammed into this car. I'm not gonna spoil like every move, all the scenes frame by frame, but this is just one I gotta talk about because it's another one of my favorite ones where they're collecting all the Muppets, they're all crammed into this car, and then they're like, oh well, now we got everyone that was in the montage and not in the montage. And Ralph just goes, yeah, why wasn't I in the montage? I thought my story was very exciting. And then it's a hard cut to them walking up to Ralph as he's just chilling in a hammock. And then he's like sleeping. And they just like wake up and goes, he goes, Ralph, we're getting the gang back together. You want to join? He goes, yeah, I want to. And then he goes, wasn't that thrilling?
Dude.
So good.
It's
I'll
so
take
good.
it.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
Listeners at
Camp and
home, it's
Gonzo.
because Neil is really hard to wake up.
Yeah, we don't need to. Get
Yeah.
into this.
It's all, I've also the hair.
Yeah. Okay.
The hair. He's got the ears as Neil's hair. I see it. That was the
Yes.
main draw for me. And then that made me think of just my favorite that bit from the Muppets.
So good. Camden, did you have like a specific other thing about the Muppets you wanted to talk about?
No, I just wanted to just chime in and give everybody let the listeners know that I just also adore them.
Would you like to have the conversation really fast, Camden, of the fact that the Muppets just need to start doing adapting more like classic literature?
Yes. They
Okay.
Yes, Bobby, I would love to have this conversation with you.
Okay, and I'm ready.
Um,
Can I throw out my number one pick right now?
I
Yes.
also have a number one pick.
Please.
I do
Okay,
too.
and it's close because there's like three right on top of each other.
You know what, boys?
I think
I would like to add a little game into this. I'd love you to give me
Yes.
this piece of literature, and I'd love
Okay.
for you to cast it for me. Okay?
Yes.
Beautiful,
It's the
yes.
one
and that was
human.
my plan.
Yes.
Okay. And
One
two-
human's allowed. Is that your
You
rule?
get
one
Yeah,
human.
One
and
human.
then
One
I'm
which
gonna be the
Muppet is-
judge.
Yeah.
Because
Mine
it's
isn't
me,
like super
and then-
original, but
I've got to.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I haven't given
This
you
is-
any
this
time to
is-
prepare. I'll be kind, but this
Okay.
is important.
This is true. I gotta relook at my cast real fast. Hold on.
we can edit some of this out. My thing apparently sort of already happened
What?
What were you
in
gonna
2014. I'm still gonna talk about it because it wasn't a full length thing.
go?
They
Okay.
just did, like,
What were
one
you
song.
going for?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Muppets Les Mis is the one that like I see that it circulates on the internet. People talk
so
about
that'd
it.
be really fun.
And I
Excuse me.
don't know who I think the one human should be. I think it would be great with Hugh Jackman as Valjean because I think Hugh Jackman would play off the Muppets really well.
Yeah.
I think he has that kind of
That's good.
just that kind energy.
Yes. Where he can do it.
And like Kermit as Marius and Miss Piggy as Cosette.
Yep.
I think it just works.
That's pretty good.
But now I'm looking. I googled it, and I'm seeing Les Miserables, a Les Mis parody, and it's Cookie Monster.
Doesn't
And
count.
I don't.
That is a Sesame
What is-
Street character. That is not a Muppet.
Yeah, it's Sesame Street. It's not Muppets, but it's basically what I was picturing.
Can I propose one to you?
Yes.
Everybody, and can we just do it together? Or we accept?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I think
Yeah,
there's enough
I think we
characters
could work
here.
together.
I think
I like
a
that.
Muppets Pride and Prejudice
Oh,
would
Yup.
be amazing.
That's
Yup.
pretty good.
I think that there's different ways that you could spin that and all this stuff. I think Miss Piggy has to be the mother. Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not
Okay,
even close.
all right.
Yes. Like
yes.
there's no one else that she could be.
Then just
And
can we
I-
throw in Sam Eagle?
Who's your human?
I don't see. That's the thing. It's like I think that there's a couple different places that you could put the human. And it's okay. I almost want to do it for maybe like have Elizabeth be, because I feel like
Okay,
you could,
but a human Mr. Darcy though.
Yes,
Human Mr.
yes.
Darcy's
a Muppet.
really
I
funny.
do
He's
think
so
having,
good.
like-
Just the only human.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
do
actually
think having like
really
Robert
funny.
Pattinson being Mr. Darcy would be just
Ooh.
like
Dude,
really
it
funny
would be really good.
That would be good.
and
like,
would be really good. And I know he would commit. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I know he would.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Kermit's obviously good for what's his face? Who's the dad?
Oh,
Not for Kermit. I'm just trying to remember. What's the
I think Mr.
dad's
Collins-
name?
Mr.
Is
Bennett.
Is it Mr. What? is-
IMDb just lists him as Mr. Bennett. I need to
Oh,
brush
okay.
up on my Pride and
Okay,
Prejudice. I'm
Mr.
realizing.
Bennett. Yeah, okay, there we go. Because I think there's a couple of I think it would be funny to have Fozzie in that position because
Mhm.
he just gets walked over, and that's kind of exactly what
Wocka
Fozzie
Wocka.
is.
Wocka Wocka over!
Yo, what? It's so good. It's really funny. But I could also see that being Gonzo and using Fozzie as one of the idiot suitors at some point.
Oh, that's also.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of different like I just feel like there's so many different ways you could do that, and I think it just works. Like it is such a Muppety like story as it is.
The
like it is
best
just,
ones
you
are
know
the
what I
ones
mean?
where it's like extremely serious and played like completely dramatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or where it's already just like over the top gossipy shit, and they're
Yes,
so
yeah.
good for that for no reason.
Uncle
To-
Deadly. Sorry, I just realized Uncle Deadly. He's like an old dragon guy who's like he's got an evil British accent. He's also in the Muppets movie, but
Okay.
I think he could.
Who is
Like-
this?
Show me a picture.
Yeah,
because
he's blue. He's got like a wispy.
so this isn't
He's a Muppet.
the bird.
This
this
is not the
is
bird.
Which bird? Sam Eagle?
Sam Eagle.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's
he,
Uncle
he
Deadly.
looks
He's
like
an
evil
old
Sam
dragon.
Eagle.
Uncle
does.
what?
Uncle Deadly.
Uncle Deadly?
Yes.
Who the hell is
Not
Uncle
to be
Which-
that guy, but he just looks like evil Sam
Oh,
the Eagle.
he does
Like,
look like evil Sam.
He does.
Sam Evil.
like evil
Sam
Sam
Eagle.
Eagle. Yeah, I
Sam
don't know
Eagle.
what
Oh
else to
God,
say.
he
That's
does.
what it is.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Camden, how do you feel about The Great Gatsby?
Oh my
I
god.
That
do-
was literally what
I-
Was that gonna be
Hey.
Akiva's?
that was gonna be mine.
Oh
Was
my
Great
God.
Gatsby.
Of course
All right,
it
let me hear your
was.
thoughts.
I definitely feel like, controversial. You could put Kermit as Nick,
Yes.
Yes.
but imagine him as Buchanan instead. This awful typecast.
no,
now that I'm saying it
Sam
out loud.
Eagle would be.
Yeah, he would be
Tom.
Buchanan. Yeah, he would be Tom.
Sam Eagle has to be Tom. Yo.
I think Daisy being the human would be.
Daisy,
great.
I think being the human is actually the correct play there.
I think that might be
Yes.
the way to go.
Yes.
And I think that's exceptionally funny when you get the car seat.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
god.
Who's playing her?
Wait, or
I
Wait,
think-
but
no,
then
no, you
who's
get the
Gatsby.
no. Daisy should be the chicken. The Camilla the clucking chicken.
She doesn't talk like that though. Is the problem?
But like I feel like she gives off the vibe of that. She's just like so
I understand
vapid
what
and just
you're-
like
I understand what you're
Hmm.
saying, but she also just doesn't have the. Yeah.
You
I think
know,
that would. I
Gonzo
think,
Gatsby. Gonzo
Gonzo
Gatsby.
Gatsby.
Gatsby's
Gonzo Gatsby.
absolutely-
There it is.
Gonzo
Yeah.
Gatsby.
Gonzo
very
Gatsby.
good, too. Who's playing Daisy? Tell me now.
If we're saying if it's a human,
Yes.
fuck, dude. Oh, that's a hard
that-
choice.
Two.
hard.
One.
Oh.
I'd like to put my hat in the ring. Hello, Emma Watson.
Oh yeah,
But
actually,
I
she could
need
pull that off.
An American who can do a good American accent.
Oh, easy.
I guess,
How's
but it's
it?
also old enough that you can do like it would be like the 40s and you know what I mean? It'd be like the old which,
Transatlantic.
yeah,
Yeah.
which she actually would be perfect for.
It's not bad.
I mean, we got to think this is a 20s, you know, this is
Yeah.
like this is, so I actually think Emma Watson has a lot of legs there. I worded that really poorly, but you know what I mean?
She does. She do have legs.
Cancel him.
I can't
She
just
do
keep
have
saying
legs,
Keira
and I gotta
Knightley
say
for
it.
every single period piece.
That's the thing is,
Yeah.
I was gonna
would
say Blake
put Keira
Lively.
Knightley in every movie.
I was gonna say
I would
Blake
watch them
Lively.
all.
There's a chance Blake Lively could do it. You know, I don't know media well. That will be a shocker to anyone who listens to
This is
this.
It's an interesting poll to come
Brother
from
Mans
you.
is a
I know.
little media illiterate.
I am media illiterate. I'm just trying to think of actresses I can name, and just actors I can name.
I'm just scrolling right
Sigourney
now
Weaver.
looking at people. Sigourney Weaver,
Sigourney
dude,
Weaver.
awful.
Like a lot of my picks, I feel like are too old at this point. Because I was thinking like Emily Blunt, who is also not American, but I think she's doing it.
Yeah.
I
She's
had
also
Emily
a
Blunt
little
pulled up on my screen,
That's
and then you
so
said she has to have an
funny.
American accent. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
there goes number 2 that I can
No,
name.
Yeah.
Who is American?
American.
Why are none of
actors.
them American?
Could Natalie
Because-
Portman pull it off?
You always can.
Yeah,
I don't really want to search up young American actors.
Yeah, that's a scary. It's a scary search term. Maybe new American actresses is the way to word that.
Don't.
I'm gonna-
up and coming.
up and
I
coming.
don't like any of these.
Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke could. She does not give me period drama vibes. Is the issue?
That's true. She does kind of have iPhone face. What is it?
iPhone
Yes.
Can we just cast Zendaya and be done with it?
face. Dude, it's so
You know,
Zendaya
we
and
could.
everything, please.
We could.
We
We could also do. I know she's the one to talk about. I don't know what her accent is. I haven't seen this movie yet, but she doesn't have iPhone face, and I do think that's Lily Rose Depp.
Oh, I don't really know her,
I don't know.
I don't know her either. She's in Nosferatu though, and I haven't seen that yet.
which I am dying to see.
Hey, question.
She's
What about Florence Pugh? Did we think about Florence Pugh?
Always
I
think
didn't
about
think
Florence.
about her at all,
Actually,
and I do
might be the
love her
correct
very
answer.
much.
I'm
I
gonna
think
go back
that's
and cut out
correct.
every other suggestion
actually
because
think
that's the
she's-
No,
correct
keep
answer.
Emma
Florence
Watson
Pugh,
there.
I
I
100%
think that
agree.
they should. I think that they should audition, and we'll see. Okay.
Well,
and, you know what? And I think that's also very. I think that's actually
I
how this
think-
process
I think we
works,
need to have
Camden,
an
not to
open
burst
call, and
anybody's
then we'll
bubble.
discuss.
I mean, I have my pick.
I mean, I think Florence Pugh is probably one of the better shots there.
I'm
that's
seconding.
good.
Florence
Yeah.
Pugh.
I do need to propose one last
One last movie.
Muppets. Yes. I
Yeah.
do need to do Sherlock Holmes.
Oh my
Ooh.
It
God.
never happened. There was never any Muppets
Dude,
Sherlock
actually,
Holmes
that is
adaptation.
Well,
so
here's the thing.
heat.
Here's the thing, Neil, is that they did do a 4-part comic, but they made
Whoa.
their own Muppet into Sherlock Holmes. But I do
What?
need to see Gonzo and Fozzie as Sherlock and Watson. I have to
Oh
Yeah.
my
see it.
god.
Because and you know what? And
I
it needs to be
have
the
to
proper
see it.
adaptation where they are kind of gay.
Just a little
Yes.
bit.
Like,
And then
because
Tastefully.
that's what they were meant to.
I just need there to
can
be
I also
tension.
propose then we do extended universe and we do some Arsène Lupin.
I was gonna say we need human Moriarty,
Ooh.
but have it be like really like campy, like comedic. Like it's making me think of Ricky Gervais from Muppets Most
Wanted.
Wanted
That's
as,
literally what I
as
was
Moriarty.
I do need Hugh Grant to be in that.
Oh,
I need
Hugh
him to
Grant
be
would
in.
also be a really good Moriarty. Muppets
Yes.
Moriarty.
I feel like
Or-
the
or-
resident detective should be
Or Colin
Damn.
Firth.
Oh, Lestrade.
The Lestrade should be
Colin
the
Firth Lestrade would be really
Colin
good.
Firth would be
That would
Yeah.
be incredible.
Okay, so my thing is, who here knows about?
This is just a Muppets fan cast now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Who here has actually
Derail
like,
the
have you
entire
guys have you
episode.
guys like read or like understand like anything about Arsène Lupin? Anybody?
Not much.
So, Gentleman Thief, written by what's his LeBlanc somebody, I can't remember what his name is. Back in like the early 1900s, right? And whole thing is he is like a gentleman like thief. He is this like paragon of like properness and everything. And yet
Like
he's still,
Carrie Elway's in Psych.
like yes, yeah. It's exactly it's that is what that
It's an
character is based
archetype,
off of.
yeah.
Like yeah, right. And he was like the first one to ever do
Yeah.
it, right? And so at the end of the first like collection of Arsène Lupin stuff, the author is like, hey, I'm gonna have him go up against Sherlock Holmes because
Did that actually happen?
And he actually wrote it and everything. But here's the thing:
With
at that
Conan
point,
Doyle?
Conan Doyle was very different. But here's the thing: at that point, A, Conan Doyle was unalived, and B, it was definitely not in public domain. So it was Sherlock Holmes
Oh my god.
and
Holmes.
Wilson, which is really funny
Wilson.
and shit. But like,
Just
okay,
like
but
House
he did
MD.
this.
Yeah.
Which, oh my god, can we talk about House at some point? Whoa.
We'll come back on. I'll join you for that
When
one.
I
It'll
learned
be a
that
different
House was
episode,
meant
but-
to be
but
Holmes,
we'll-
it's so funny.
Dude, I will come back anytime if we're talking about House. I'm here.
We will chat.
That was one of my COVID binges.
Trust.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's so good. All right,
Next
but-
year.
But I digress. The whole thing is like him and first off, LeBlanc definitely writes Holmes and Wilson, Holmes and Wilson, Holmes and Watson to be like very gay, which is just really fun.
The correct
And-
way to
and-
do
I'll
it.
just
correct.
I was just
And
saying
then
that's the correct way to
secondly-
write them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And then secondly, every interaction between Arsene and Holmes is just so. I mean, it is so like the battle of these pompous, witty, like intelligent people, and it is so good. And I think that Muppets could pull this off as well. But
So
bare
who
minimum,
would you cast then?
as Arsene is
Yeah.
such a good question because it needs to. I think Arsene would have to be a person, and I think that that's rough. But then,
and then who's
the
Sherlock?
supporting
I'm saying
cast is
Gonzo and Fozzie as
and
Sherlock
and I think
Watson?
that staying there is actually really funny.
Okay.
It would have to be like who is a proper enough Muppet to be the paragon of like French class and like properness. Like there is. Maybe I'm
Pepe Le
missing
Pew.
something.
Yeah, there's like Pew. No, wait, there's like someone named
Pepe
Pew.
Le Prawn.
Pepe
Yeah,
Le Pew.
Pepe, no, not Pepe Le Prawn.
Low-key, no. Speaker.
It would be funny.
Yeah,
though.
speaker. Yeah,
No,
no, that just like, but see, like, and then that destroys everything with it. Is the problem? So
It would be funny to have like a Henry
New
Cavill
Zealand.
type
Yes.
going up against
yes,
Fozzie.
I need like
New
yeah.
Zealand. He's a Frenchman who's like does like
Is there
circus
a
tricks.
French Muppet?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Almost
sure New
certainly.
Zealand
Yeah.
is
There's
French.
like one for like
New
all of
Zealand?
them.
Wait.
Hold
What
on.
is this?
His act involves a boomerang fish. I throw them and they come back to me.
I disagree with this, but it's okay.
New Zealand. Oh, I know this guy with the ruffled collar.
he just
Wait.
throws a fish.
He's got a fish.
He's got the
He's got the
fish.
mustache.
Okay.
He's the
That's not
embodiment.
bad.
Actually, he could pull it off, but it'd be a little bit of a character like divulgence. But I think he could.
Then it would have to be a live action Sherlock.
Then that's
One of them has to be.
one of them
live
has
action.
to be.
It's
But,
so
like,
just Sherlock surrounded
yeah.
by Muppets.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, that's really
That's
funny
pretty
to me.
good.
Like, I'm actually, it's good if you can pull it off. But I also think it would be good because what happens at the end of that one is he gets immensely frustrated by being caught by Sherlock, and that's why I think it's really funny to have the Gonzo Fozzie duo.
Ooh.
Because it,
Yeah,
like having the
confidence.
human get like you watch this perfect like classy gentleman break, and that is that like having him break at a Muppet. I think is actually like
So
really
funny.
fitting for how it was written, and so that's my hot take. But regardless, I think there is so much like classical literature. Okay, oh my god, I forgot Don Quixote,
Quixote would be
dude,
fucking great.
Oh.
as a Muppet movie.
Have they not done that already?
It's insane to me that they
I don't
haven't.
know. How many Muppets classic literature pieces are there? Treasure Island.
There's
Oh,
Treasure
we're
Island
trademarking
and-
all of these, even though we have no legal
Yeah.
right to do that.
These are all now officially in production. You can't take them.
Oh no, they made a comic of it though.
Don Quixote.
A Don Quixote Muppets.
And who was who?
Who did they choose?
Oh, sorry. It was Sesame Street one.
Oh, it was Bert and Ernie. That's
Okay,
so good.
It's really cute. I do.
Which again, that's another Gonzo
that's
Fozzie
another.
duo.
That's
you
another
could have.
Gonzo Fonzie.
I feel like
I
just
like
any
Bert and
movie
Ernie,
just
though.
needs
It's so
Gonzo
wholesome.
Fozzie.
I actually do like the Bert and Ernie combo. I'd actually be so down to like bring Sesame Street back into Muppets more.
Wait,
Mm.
You know,
what's the little mouse? What's his
are you talking about Rizzo the Rat?
name? Yeah, found a
Not
Google
a
article
mouse.
that's
No,
Five.
he's not a mouse. You asshole.
so sorry. 5 literary classics
Stupid.
that should be adapted into
I'll kick him
Muppet
for
films.
you. I've got you, King.
Thank
Don
you.
Quixote's number 5
Don Quixote's number 5 on
on
what?
this list. 5 literary classics that should be adapted.
Yeah,
His
I
name is
think-
on there. And Gatsby.
Great Gatsby's number 2. Pride and Prejudice number 1.
Dude, I'm
We
going
live in a
I need you
simulation.
to understand. Have not looked at this list. These
Yeah,
are
I
just
just-
my humble
That's-
opinions.
Wait, would you like to
Fucking
guess the other
crazy.
2?
dude.
There's 2 others.
There's 2, so there's 5. So Don
Immaculate
Quixote's number
taste over
5,
here.
and then blank for 4, blank for 3, 2
Can
for
you-
Great
can you give
Gatsby,
me
1
genre or time period?
I think
time
this is gonna be our
period.
final little game.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
our,
yeah,
our
yeah,
little game to wrap it up. I need you guys
Okay.
to lock in.
The first one is an adaptation of a
It's got to be like Jane Austen.
it's Shakespeare. It's,
Oh, it's
Shakespeare, but not
Shakespeare.
like
Not Romeo
uber
and
famous.
Juliet.
Not one.
Twelfth Night.
No.
Okay, I gotta say.
I gotta say, Neil,
would,
you'll get this one.
I would love Much Ado About Nothing.
Here we go,
Okay.
baby.
Yeah, I was
With-
about to
with
say,
Kermit
it,
and
it
Miss
has to be
Piggy.
that one or Raisin in the Sun.
It's
I think
Kermit, Miss
I
Piggy,
think
and
that would be
Scooter.
so good.
Okay, and then the other one is I don't know much.
I liked your Rizzo take, Cam.
It was based off of a movie that came out in 1975. I've never seen this movie. I can't. Really
Wait, this is a book based on a movie?
no. This is a movie based on a movie. This is like their classic that they want to adapt. Is
Gone with the
Godfather.
Wind? When,
Uh,
what year did you say?
1975 is
Oh,
too
1975.
late.
75.
The IMDb is a criminal pleads insanity after getting into trouble again and once in the mental
Is this Cuckoo's
You got
Nest?
it. Is it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Yeah. Camden, did you
Let's
also
go,
just say
Neil.
that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Did you guys
were
say
very
I could
quiet
not
in my
hear it?
ear, but yeah, it's the only movie about a like mental.
I've never watched
patient
that
that
one.
I
Why
know.
would that be like 4?
I know. It was 3.
That's crazy.
This list,
That's
thank
crazy.
you to deadtalknews.com.
Okay. I mean, like, I don't
Alright.
disagree. I think it would probably be fun, just
Matt
judging by the
Kaiser,
premise. But
everybody.
like, because what is the Muppets but a bunch of insane little guys?
Yeah.
They're
All
just
right,
a
we
bunch
should
of
move
little
on to the
guys.
next segment.
Okay.
It was like 30 minutes.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Wait, didn't Camden have something?
No, Camden's thing was just Muppets. Was just
Oh,
No,
just
I
Muppets.
just wanted
Muppets.
to talk with you. I just wanted to play
Yeah.
in your space.
Oh, I got you. I'm
Yeah.
happy that.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we wrap up, just because our last episode wasn't a new one, but 2 episodes ago I started our first official segment, which is looking at stats of the countries from our most recent episodes. So I just have to drop some of these because as per usual, they're pretty crazy. Episode 10, I'm just gonna say we've got 6 different countries represented: Ireland, Germany, United Kingdom, 2 in the United Kingdom, 2 listeners in Canada, 5 listens in Australia, and then the rest in the United States. Pretty crazy. Episode 11, we've got United States, Australia, and Ireland again. 5 listens from Orlando, Florida, and that was not me and my family. So if you're listening to Orlando, Florida, we're here right now. Come on the podcast. I
Oh my
guess.
god.
Um,
Here, let me go and give out your address really fast. No,
let's not. We doxed Akiva. We don't need to dox the rest
We
of us.
can
in
only
one
dox
episode.
one person per episode, okay?
We can only maximum of the 1 dox per episode.
only one
Yeah.
dox
It's
per episode?
required,
Dang.
actually.
I
You'll
know.
have to come on another episode, Bobby, to
Alright.
get doxed.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to get doxxed. I want to
Oh.
dox other people. That's the joy in life.
New podcast idea?
New
Oh.
podcast. I dox my friends. That's what it's called.
You can follow us on Instagram, KBTN Podcast, Twitter. We have a YouTube now,
Yes.
which is
Big
fun. All
update
of our
from the
episodes
last
are on
time.
YouTube. Yeah, all of our clips are shorts. So go smash that like and subscribe
Yeah.
buttons. That's 2 different.
Hit that bell. Hit the
yeah.
bell.
That's most of what we have to say. Check out our stuff on our clips are all on TikTok. You can follow us there too. And yeah, send us. You can email us at kbtnpodcast@gmail.com. We also have a thing now where you can send us fan mail. Send us a text, I think is what it says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
That's on Spotify.
Even if
yeah,
you know us, you should just send us a text through there. It's funny.
it's pretty cool, and we can like pin them. I think it might just be on our website, but like if you go to our website, we can pin you there. Yeah, that's I think it.
Yeah, I think so. Until next time, kick some nerd butts.
Turbo style.
Cue the outro music.